Hi guys, I'm Miriam Cutelis, and today I'm going to be reading to you my talk that I did for my church on March 1st, 2026. And as you might know, I attend and I am on the pastoral committee of a spiritualist church here in Falls Church, Virginia, and it's called a Center for Spiritual Enlightenment. And on March 1st, I gave a talk, and weirdly enough, the talk was about, it did include a children's book that I am interested in writing. And it's the first time in a very long time where actual kids, like between the ages of 7 and 10, two of them came to church that day. So it was really interesting the way that it worked out. So I want to get started, and I am having my coffee this morning. It's a beautiful day outside, and I'm excited to share this with you. All right. So about 2 years ago, I was listening to an interview on my favorite podcast. And if you all know me, you all know which one that is already. It's the Jeff Mara podcast on YouTube. And Jeff does interviews with actually, I think he started, and now he's doing other types of interviews, but he started only interviewing people who have had near-death experiences. These are long-form interviews. Some of them range between 15 minutes and over, and all of these stories are incredibly fascinating. Please go and try them out. So a couple years ago, one in particular stood out to me, and it was an interview with a man named Hank Queen. Give me a sec. So, of course, Hank Queen has had a near-death experience, and he was on the show sharing it. When he died, before he came back to life, he met a Buddhist monk who told him a story to help him understand a very important lesson. Apparently, Hank was very hard-headed and he wasn't learning his lesson. So upon hearing the story, I immediately knew this would make a wonderful children's book. And I communicated with Mr. Queen, and he gave me permission to use his idea or his experience to embed in the book. All right. So the story is called "You Were Always a Butterfly," and I'm not going to read you the whole book, but it's about a butterfly. It's about a caterpillar who wanted to be the best caterpillar there ever was. So he was obsessed with being the fastest, being the one to eat the most food, being the one to be the longest caterpillar. So he was very competitive, and he just wanted to be the best caterpillar there ever was. And he was so obsessed with that he barely noticed his friends changing and things slowing down around him. And until he himself was actually the last person to change. And he, of course, went through the change that all caterpillars go through to become butterflies. And he became a butterfly. And it's something that was unexpected, and he didn't plan it. And it took him a lot longer to get there because he was so obsessed with being something else. And it's such a wonderful story about how oftentimes we have an idea of what we want to be, and this idea is not as grand as Spirit's idea of what we want to be. So the story came to me at just the right time, and when I heard it, the reason that it touched me so deeply was because I was getting in my own way. Similar to Max's competitive spirit, and his need to want to be the best caterpillar ever was a barrier to his growth. So he was, in essence, getting in his own way. So today I'm going to ask you, listeners, how do you get in your own way? What feelings, thought patterns, and actions don't allow us or stay in our way to shift, learn, and change? Now, for me, it was pride. And many times, pride has not allowed me to trust. pride has not allowed me to open or let anyone else do things for me or support me and fully support me. I mean, I can let you support me, but for me to allow myself to relax within the support, that's another whole story. So the script that ran through my head like 24/7 was always that I needed to be the best me that I could be, because really no one else could do it. Okay, that was the script that was like running through my head all the time. No one else could do it as well as me. No one else could do it as quickly as me. And feeling that way is good. I mean, in this world of competitiveness and the way things are right now, it might sound like that's a good thing, but it has its flip side. The flip side of it is that people around you don't get close enough to shed their love onto you. The flip side is that people in your world don't feel trusted, don't feel valued. So for you, it might not be pride that's getting in your way. It might be anger or desire or fear or grief, apathy, guilt, shame. So all of these emotions are, in essence, lower level emotions as labeled by Dr. Hawkins in the consciousness scale. So lower level emotions block us, they blind us, and they lie to us. So lower level emotions keep us grounded to this earth and in third dimension, and they keep us from the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that abundance is our divine right. All right, so there are 3 things that I have lived and practiced that have helped me tremendously in clearing that filter and being able to see that I am a butterfly and not just a caterpillar. So with each of these, I'm going to recap it with an affirmation, or encapsulate it with an affirmation that has helped me to best understand. So the first one is a complete shift and in the way that I think about myself and the world around me and myself in relation to the world around me. And that affirmation is, abundance is my divine right. I'm healthy, wealthy, and loved. All right, let's say that again. Abundance is my divine right. I'm healthy, wealthy, and loved. All right. So just as becoming a butterfly was this caterpillar's divine right, and he didn't know it, our divine right is abundance, whether we know it or not. That possibility exists in the ether. That possibility exists for you. The second affirmation is about casting your burden and not really trying to do things on your own. This one was huge for me because again, as you know, my issue. So I try to do everything on my own. And in this one, you can do it in any way you prefer based on your spirituality. So my specific affirmation was, I cast this burden on the Christ within and go free. And I'm not a Catholic or a Christian, but I do try to align with Christ consciousness. So I do, that one resonates with me. So, but if that doesn't resonate with you, you can say things like, I cast this burden onto spirit, or I cast this burden on all the divine forces of the universe, or God, or creator, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. So your loved ones, you can also say, I cast this burden on a loved one on the other side, or even your spirit guides, or your higher selves. All of them are clamoring to help you and support you and to guide you, but they can't do this unless you ask for help. So it's important to that you voice your needs out loud. I cast this burden onto spirit and go free. So I'm going to say spirit just because it's kind of a middle ground there. And if not, again, you could do whichever one you want. But I cast this burden onto spirit and go free. And let's just feel that in for a second. How that feels on our body when we say that. I cast this burden, bring forth and a thought or a worry that you have that you might have been carrying for some time or that you're currently dealing with, and say those words and see how it shifts within you. So now we come to my last affirmation. The universe supports me completely. And I've been doing a lot of meditation concerning what that looks like in relation with other people. What does supporting someone completely mean? And I'm a very independent person, so supporting me isn't doing things for me necessarily. That's not really what I'm looking for when I think of support. So how do you support someone and still allow them to be free? Because I'm big about freedom, and allow them to fully be themselves. And as a teacher, I come across that question all the time. How do I support this child into being fully independent and being proud of what they can do on their own without me doing it for them? Because that's very important. And same thing, as a mother, I've experienced this many times. There's this inner battle between you want to bask in being needed and waiting and wanting them to fly on their own. So you want them, you love them so much, you want them to fly, and you want them to experience the independence and how wonderful that feels and proud of themselves, but you also love basking in the needed. So there's like that dichotomy there. So since I'm a very feelings-oriented person, I've been dying to do some of these salt floats where you lay in a tank full of salt water and you completely allow yourself to float in warm water and not exude any force whatsoever. So whenever I hear, whenever I think about what being supported fully might feel like, I think of the salt floats and how it must feel to just allow your body to be held and allow your body to be supported fully without you having to move a muscle and like not fighting it, just allowing yourself to be cared for. And laying in a vat of water and simply allowing the breath to breathe through me and allowing my heart to beat. And similar to that butterfly, just getting out of your own way mentally. So I do need to schedule one of those for sure. Now, Neville Goddard says, has a formula for manifestation, which is non-resistance plus faith equals manifestation. Let's break that down. So again, this formula suggests that letting go of the need to control or fight circumstances, which is non-resistance, combined with trust. So non-resistance plus trust, it will bring about the desired outcome, which is manifestation. So when we have faith, and if you need a very concrete way of explaining faith, my mentor and amazing creator of Cognitive Movement System, co-creator of Cognitive Movement System, Liz Larson, gave a wonderful example for this. And she said, manifestation is very much like when you order from Amazon. So you speak your affirmation, like when you place an order, and you trust that you have that 100% faith that it's on its way, because you got that email. You don't need to reorder. You don't need to keep checking. You don't need to call them. You don't need to cry. You have 100% faith, and that that feeling that you get when you look at that email that says it's on its way, it will be there tomorrow or be there whenever, is faith. So if you have a hard time putting your fingers on that pulse of what faith feels like, that is what it feels like. So let's say these affirmations one more time, and this time we're going to really feel them in every cell in our body. And maybe, like, I love to put my hands on my heart when I say them, and that way I can really direct that energy towards my body and my heart, and really, really feel those words. So abundance is my divine right. I'm healthy, wealthy, and loved. I cast this burden onto spirit and go free. And the universe supports me completely. Excellent. And thanks for listening to my talk today. And I hope that you know that you are that abundance is your divine right, and that you have support all around you, always. All right. Talk to you later.